Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. The men's elite road race at the World Championships in Zurich was today, and it was 273.9 kilometers with 4,470 meters of elevation gain, 7 full laps plus 2 kind of modified laps around the city of Zurich. Early on, there was a 6-man group that had gotten away and built up, I think at one point, over 3 minutes. But some early crashes cost Mikel Landa and Julian Alaphilippe their chance in the race. And then with 120 kilometers to go, Tadej Pogačar and Andrea Bajoli took off to try to bridge the gap to that lead group of 6. And 20 kilometers later, they'd gotten it from 3:15 down to 1 minute and 8 seconds with just under 100 kilometers to go. Pogačar doing most of the work, but this is where tactic came in. Jan Tratnik from Team Slovenia was in the lead group, and once Pogačar got within a minute, down to 45 seconds, Tratnik held back and broke away from that lead group and waited for Pogačar. And this was key because now it was his job to do all the work to pull Pogačar back up those 40 seconds to that leading group of 6. This caused some anxiety in the pack. The Belgians started to get organized, but Tratnik was leading Pogačar back up to the front. They were making up good time. Really interesting to see them kind of shake out the legs and get ready for tight corners. A really technical course. But again, as I said, the Belgians were getting organized, and even some of the Australians there, you could see them trying to make up ground, and they had closed the gap now to almost a minute. Tratnik and Pogačar now within spitting distance, down to 15 seconds from that lead group, and they were just not letting up. Tratnik was doing absolutely incredible work, and then this, I think, was the steepest little ramp, and they just blew up this hill. Unbelievable. You know, when people were starting to die, these two guys were just blowing up the hill at an incredible speed. You could see them catching that lead group of 5 or 6 that was left. And now the gap had been closed. Tratnik had done his job, and I thought he would fall off, but no. These two got up there, and this was great for Pogačar. He still got 90K to go, almost 56, 57 miles. But they weren't content to just sit at the back, because this group had gotten a little bit disorganized as they figured out that Tratnik had gone back to get Pogačar. And there was a lot of kind of dilly-dallying, and I didn't see anybody really willing to say, hey, come on, let's drive, let's make them work for it to get back into this. And Tratnik and Pogačar, they just kept going. They went right through that group of 15, 16 guys and went right to the front. They obviously had a plan. Now, they're from the same country, and the World Championships are about country. I don't believe they're on the same team, but I have to double check that. Again, the Belgians getting organized, and here you can see Pogačar just giving Tratnik instructions, and you can look at Tratnik's face. I mean, he is spent, total sacrifice, and in the end he got a DNF. He just spent it all. We got 3 laps to go here, 80K to go, and now you can actually see that the pack is probably still at about 60 guys. Started to get organized. The Australians on the left, the Belgians in the center, the Dutch on the right, all bringing the big guns up. You know, for O'Connor, for Evenepoel, for Van der Poel, and they came across only 35, 36 seconds behind the group with Pogačar. But then Pogačar started another move. Again, on the hill, the Zürcher Berg in Zurich, steep, difficult. And he started to pull away, and from those 16 or 17 people, it was really only Pavel Sivakov that could follow. And he is on Pogačar's UAE team, but he's a Russian rider who starts for France. And, you know, we're down to 77K here, and Sivakov went with him for quite a while. At one point, Pogačar actually looked back and said, are you coming? And because I think he wanted Sivakov to help here. Evenepoel now really pushing with 60K to go to try to get back up to the front, but another breakaway from the following group, from the chase group, and Ben Healy of Ireland and Skyens of, I think, Latvia or Lithuania. Sorry, I'm just not exactly sure, but they had made a move to try to bridge the gap. Pogačar now going up with 25 kilometers to go, going up to Zürich, the last time of these 7 full laps, a long hill here. And he had managed to build his advantage out to a minute again. And Healy was a minute behind, and then Evenepoel and Van der Poel also about a 1:20, 1:23. But then the local hero, Mark Hirschi, decided that he was going to try on the hill, and he put a gap into that following group pretty quickly. And I thought that he was going to be able to cross over to Ben Healy there pretty quickly in Skyens, but he wasn't able to, and that gave Enric Mas a chance to catch him. And all this led to more activity in this following bunch that was now down to about 7. And Evenepoel, at the back of this group for most of the ride, he was, you know, he took a couple little shots, but not much. And here we have Enric Mas and Mark Hirschi trying to stay away, but Evenepoel then led a pull with O'Connor and Van der Poel to try to reel them back in. We're down to 17.5K. Pogačar still with a 39-second lead. And then finally, Skyens and Healy were caught by Enric Mas and Mark Hirschi. And the question now is whether these guys with 24 seconds ahead of the rest were going to be able to keep them away. But that was answered pretty quickly, no. Healy, super aggressive, fun rider to watch, trying to find little breaks and see if he could just get off the front a little bit. But now here we have Pogačar within 3K, starting to look around. I don't think he has any doubt that he's going to win now. Now under the 1K banner with a 44-second lead. Looking back, he did lose a bit of time in those last 15-20 kilometers. You can see him shaking his head. Unbelievable. Keeps looking back, but there was nobody. And he was excited. 6.5 hours, 273.9 kilometers, 4,478 vertical meters. An unbelievably brutal day. Luckily, the men had better weather than the women did yesterday for theirs, when there was, 10 or 11 C and raining. The fans here, just incredible, pounding on the sideboards. You see that a lot in the cyclocross races and mountain bike races. But here is your world champion for the road race, the Men's Elite 2024, in 6 hours, 27 minutes, and 30 seconds from Slovenia, Tadej Pogačar. A triple that's only been done twice before. That's winning the Giro D'Italia, the Tour de France, and the World Championship road race in 1 year. Ben O'Connor here broke away late from the other group of 6 or 7 to take silver without anybody really challenging him. Super excited. I think he just won gold in the team time trial the other day with Australia, and Grace Brown, who had another wonderful competition after the Olympic victories. Skyens tried one more time to break away, but just didn't have the legs, and then it was Van der Poel, just too strong for everybody, held off the last group of Skyens, Evenepoel, and Hirschi, with Ben Healy and Enric Mas rounding out that group of 7. So an unbelievable finish to an incredible year by Tadej Pogačar. He's far and away the #1 ranked cyclist in the world right now, won the Giro d'Italia easily by, I think, 10 minutes. Beat Jonas Vingegaard in the Tour de France, only slightly better time differential. And right here you can see we got Pogačar, then O'Connor, Van der Poel with the medals, Skuljens, Evenepoel, Hirschi, Healy, rounding out those top 7, Enric Mas, Simmons, and Bardet. So an incredible day. There's Van der Poel getting a kiss from his better half, and here's Pogačar getting, you know, hugs and kisses from his girlfriend, also a cyclist, not as successful as Pogačar, but very good in her own right. So a super exciting finish. The season's dominator dominates once again in the road race. Tadej Pogačar will look forward to maybe some better competition next year when some of the fellas like Vingegaard aren't out with injuries like this year. But right now, boy, it just seems like he is unstoppable. And this pretty much does it for the road race season. We will continue to make videos around cyclocross and mountain biking as those seasons start to ramp up. We're going to get one more video in on kind of the end of year rankings for the road cyclists. So look for those in the coming days, and other videos that we'll be doing about different things, but plenty of stuff going on. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye from Zürich 2024.